In this bulletin, police investigate separate fires. Moderna vaccine uptake increases. And WHO Secretary General criticized.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Edwin Nunn.
Pulunaka, Fiji. The National Fire Authority is trying to ascertain the cause of a fire at the Mba Central Arcade last night. Police confirmed the fire was reported to the Mba police station before 8 p.m. by a security officer. Mba Town Council Chief Executive Priya Singh says out of the 8 shops in the arcade, 6 are operational. Singh adds this also includes an SME market. Mba Chamber of Commerce Secretary Anil Amin says they too are saddened by the incident. Amin says it's an unfortunate event that would have added to the suffering that many businesses are going through due to the pandemic. He adds most of these operators rely on the business for their livelihood. And the employment status of about 10 people who work at the Tapu's warehouse along Carpenter Street in Suva is in limbo. This follows a major fire that broke out at the warehouse at around 11 last night. It took about 20 firefighters more than 2 hours to control the blaze. Tapu's logistics manager Chris Fernando says they are strategizing their continuity plan to ensure operations are not affected. Carpenter Street in Draiwai was in chaos last night as the fire broke out, engulfing this warehouse rented by Tapu's Limited.
Actually, we just emptied part of it and no one there at the moment. But about maybe 10-15 staff who are working as a bulk managers and staff there, so that's all.
The incident was reported to the Rewanga police station after 11 last night. Meanwhile, the Fiji Police Force says certain individuals have been quick to try and use the two fires to rally support against the government and to incite violence and instability. Acting Commissioner of Police Rusiate Tundrabu says the force will not allow this to happen and Fijians will expect more stringent measures to be implemented as far as operations are concerned. Tundrabu says they want to assure all Fijians that any attempts to destabilize and cause instability will be investigated and dealt with. As the force begins a joint investigation with the National Fire Authority, Fijians are being warned not to be influenced by speculation that the two incidents were linked. The Health Ministry has recorded a high uptake of the COVID-19 Moderna vaccine since rollout began. Head of Vaccination Task Force Dr. Rachel Davey says to date more than 1,000 pregnant women have come forward to get the jab. The benefit of Moderna is that you get fully immunized within 28 days. Dr. Davey says they have a limited number of Moderna vaccines. Therefore, they intend to vaccinate the maximum number of pregnant women at the earliest.
I think the uptake from the pregnant women we're seeing is pretty good right across the country. We're seeing good numbers and they definitely are coming forth to get the jab.
The World Health Organization's Secretary General has received global criticism for attending the Tokyo Olympics 2020, which has now seen a rise in COVID cases. And to our latest COVID-19 update, Fiji had 632 new COVID-19 infections for the period ending 8 a.m. yesterday. 62 cases are from the West and 570 from the Central Division. The Health Ministry has also recorded 2 new COVID-19 deaths for 31st July. Fiji has recorded 30,343 cases since April of this year. There are now 22,100 active cases in isolation with 7,942 recoveries. The COVID-19 death toll stands at 241. The vaccination campaign also continues. As of yesterday, 484,629 people, or 82.6% of the population, has received their first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine. 144,194, or 24.6%, have received the second. The 5 most vaccinated areas include Mba and Rewa and Nanranga, which are now 100% first jabbed. Next are Nandi and Naitasiri. Rewa also tops the list of the second of the most, tops the list as the second jabbed province. Up ahead, Mangala strives on. And Rabbitohs defeat Dragons in NRL Round 20. Stay with us. Welcome back. A year ago, Sireli Mangala's future in rugby was uncertain after injuries put him in 5 months of rehab. Speaking exclusively to FBC Sports, the Mbureiwai Nakorotumbu Ra native highlights how his struggles motivated him. The 21-year-old says being unable to move for months made him want to throw in the towel. He adds, after recovering, he was cited by national head coach Gareth Baber at the 2020 Wairiki Sevens, and his rugby dreams soared from there. Growing up, Mangala looked up to Waisale Serevi, and just like the Sevens wizard, Mangala was determined to do something for his country.
I don't want to go empty-handed. Go back even to take back the gold, and that was my motto when we entered Tokyo. So when we go back to Fiji, we don't want to go back empty-handed. We want to go back with a gold.
The Fiji Association of Sports and National Olympic Committee is planning a celebration for Team Fiji athletes when things normalize in the future. Speaking from Tokyo, Japan, FASANOC Chief Executive Lorraine Mars says no gathering is allowed, and FASANOC will not push for a celebration until the Ministry of Health believes it's practicable. Mars says for now the athletes are encouraged to celebrate within their bubbles by following all protocols.
Obviously, we won't, as Patrick mentioned, we won't be able to have what we normally have, a Thanksgiving function when we come back home, and obviously that will not be possible. But there will come a time when we will be able to, to recognize the performances from Tokyo 2020. And when that time comes, we'll certainly have a celebration.
Fiji Mbati centre Arne Milne scored a try for his Rabbitohs side to help them secure a 50-14 win in round 20 of the NRL last night. Meanwhile, in other NRL matches, the Knights defeated the Raiders 34-24 and the Panthers went down to the Storm 37-10. Cloudy periods and brief showers over most areas. A high-pressure system to the far southwest of Fiji directs strong winds and heavy swells over the southern coastal areas of Viti Levu, Kandavu, Benga, Vatulele, southern Lomai Viti and southern Lau Group. And that's FBC News Now. Join us again for our 1-hour major bulletin at 7 p.m. and be sure to download the FBC app to access the latest in news, sports and live radio broadcasts from any of our 6 radio stations. Stay safe and good afternoon.